Here is your latest African news. DRC. Belgium begins long road to returning stolen Congolese artifacts. Belgium's Africa Museum will begin a multi-year process of returning stolen art to the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Belgian government announced this on Tuesday. From the late 19th century to 1960, thousands of artworks, including wooden statues, elephant ivory masks, manuscripts, and musical instruments, were stolen, unfortunately, by Belgian and other Europeans in the form of scientists, explorers, and soldiers. Following a recent $78 million overhaul of the Africa Museum to take a more critical view of Belgium's colonial past, Belgium now claims it is ready to meet DRC's calls for restitution. Tens of millions of Congolese are estimated to have been massacred by Belgium from the late 19th century, when Congo was first a personal property of King Leopold II, before becoming then a colony of the Belgian state. Mozambique. Community leaders become allies in ending child marriage in the country. In December of 2019, the Mozambican parliament approved its first law criminalizing unions with minors under the age of 18. This was the culmination of years of efforts by the government, civil society, and rights-based organizations that were concerned that almost half the girls in Mozambique married before the age of 18. Despite this legal milestone, there is fear that the restrictions imposed by COVID-19 may result in an increase in child marriage in Mozambique, as it has in other countries. To mitigate this risk, the Spotlight Initiative is working collaboratively with public institutions, civil society, and a network of around 300 community leaders to educate communities about the harmful effects of child marriage and to teach them about the country's recently approved law which criminalizes it. Namibia. Namibia calls out World Athletics. World Athletics acted with unfortunate negligence and insensitivity after inexplicably breaking a confidentiality agreement with the Namibia National Olympic Committee and Athletics Namibia over the handling of the Beatrice Masilinga and Christine Mboma cases. Last week, World Athletics barred the 18-year-old track sensations from competing in the 400 meters at the upcoming 2020 Olympics in Japan due to their elevated natural testosterone levels. That news came as a shock to the nation and indeed the NNOC president, Abner Joagub, who yesterday claimed that WA went behind their backs in making the matter public. He added that it was unacceptable of an invasion of the athletes' rights to privacy and to the confidentiality of their health records. He also stated that the agreement was to treat the matter with the respect and the confidentiality it deserved because of the sensitivity of it. But unfortunately, World Athletics did not do anything of the kind. Ethiopia. Ethiopia mourns philanthropist Abebek. Ethiopians are mourning a humanitarian icon, Abebek Gobena. She founded one of the first orphanages in Ethiopia. Abebek, who was 85, was being treated for COVID-19 at a hospital in the capital of Addis Ababa. Since the beginning of June, she was known by her term of affection, Edaye, by the many children she raised as well as the community. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed described Abebek as Ethiopia's icon of compassion. Although she did not have biological children of her own, Abebek raised thousands of children. For her kindness, she received many awards in the country and abroad, including an honorary doctorate from the Jimma University in Ethiopia. She will always be remembered for her selfless acts and as a role model for generations to come. Kenya. Kenyan scientist doctor creates reusable nanomask. A Kenyan scientist and doctor at Kenyatta National Hospital has created an antiviral surgical mask that kills viruses on contact. The new innovation, called a nanomask, is a creation of Dr. Joseph Nderitu, who, when COVID-19 struck, saw how some masks in the market were substandard and caused allergic reactions for some of their wearers. He said even doctors who wore two masks, one on top of the other, were still getting infected. He wanted to produce a mask that not only filtered but also killed microbes, was reusable, and could reduce allergies like the peeling of skin and the inhalation of allergic agents that caused asthma. The doctor stated that the main challenge for his intervention was that nanotechnology is a new field of science, and therefore there aren't readily available how-to manuals and ready-made equipment on the scene. There aren't people with whom to consult and bounce ideas off either. It is rather an expensive undertaking as well. Nigeria. Soyinka accuses Nigerian government of kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu. The Nigerian government kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu from a foreign country in order to bring him to trial in Nigeria. Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka has said Mr. Soyinka condemned the Nigerian government's actions and also criticized Mr. Kanu's hate rhetoric while he was hiding outside the country. The Nobel laureate said there could be a nationwide furor when the truth about the circumstances surrounding the arrest of Mr. Kanu goes public. Ethiopia. Ethiopia tells UNSC it rejects unwelcome meddling by League of Arab Emirates. In a letter from Deputy Prime Minister of Foreign Affairs, Demeke Mekonnen, and sent to the United Nations Security Council, Ethiopia says it rejects the unwelcome meddling by the League of Arab States on the matter of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. The letter followed the Arab League's submission of a letter to the United Nations Security Council and United Nations General Assembly to intervene in this matter. The letter also noted that the AU, as a common organization for Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan, offers the tripartite platform to negotiate and reach a win-win outcome, guided by the conviction of finding African solutions to Africans' challenges. Ethiopia also reiterates its request for the international community to encourage Egypt and Sudan to abide by the accepted principles of international law on the utilization of transboundary water resources. Thank you for watching. Visit our YouTube channel, Tunacheki, to watch our weekly news reports, and our website, tunacheki.tv, for all the latest news updates. You can directly support this new series by becoming our YouTube member or becoming a patron. And remember, Africa is watching. And please feel free to leave your suggestions, news tips, or topics about Africa that you'd like us to explore.